Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Abdullah bin Abdi, a petroleum engineer working at Saudi Aramco, and I'm honored to be your master of ceremony for tonight's event. Welcome to an evening that celebrates a journey, one built on dedication, leadership, and the spirit of volunteerism. Over the 2023-2025 term, SPE-KSA has stood at the forefront of professional excellence, shaping careers, fostering innovation, and strengthening our industry's future. As we move forward, I want to take a moment as a fellow volunteer to recognize the heart and soul of SPE-KSA, the people in this room. Every achievement, every successful event, and every lasting impression we've made throughout the term has one thing in common: you, the volunteers. The 200 and plus individuals who didn't just attend events, but created them. Who didn't just watch impact unfold, but rolled up their sleeves to make it happen. Think about it. The over 100 events weren't just gatherings. They were milestones. They were proof that when people commit to a mission larger than themselves, industries shift, communities grow, and futures change. At SPE-KSA, technical excellence has always been at our core. Through expert-led symposiums and hands-on workshops, we've deepened understanding in industry development, energy transition, and digital transformation, ensuring professionals remain at the forefront of innovation. We've not only advanced our industry's knowledge, but expanded professional capabilities, equipping engineers with financial acumen, enabling them to make informed business decisions that drive meaningful impact. We strengthened our commitment to knowledge sharing, ensuring critical discussions reached everyone through the Journey podcast, bringing industry perspectives to professionals and students alike, wherever they were. Beyond professional development, we embraced social responsibility, proving that our impact extends far beyond the workplace. Whether it was planting over 1,500 trees, distributing over 2,000 donation boxes, or using interactive experiences to raise awareness in cybersecurity, SPE-KSA has stood as a force for progress. Yet, our success is not just measured by knowledge gained or social responsibility, but by the spirit of volunteerism that sustains it. We've created platforms to recognize the power of service, ensuring that every contribution is valued and celebrated, because volunteerism is not just about giving. It is about shaping industries, careers, and legacies. Volunteerism is not a detour. It is an accelerator for growth. And that brings us to tonight's panel discussion, where we hear firsthand from former SPE-KSA chairmen who have lived this experience. Allow me to welcome on stage Ms. Ghayda Al-Jhani, who will moderate this engaging discussion with our esteemed guests.
Thank you so much, Abdullah, and good evening, everyone. It's such a pleasure to welcome you all again to the journey of SPE-KSA volunteers, a legacy of impact. I'm Ghayda Al-Jhani, and I'm truly honored to be your moderator tonight. Tonight isn't just about looking back. It's about celebrating passion, purpose, and people. We're here to honor the individuals who helped shape one of the most vibrant and impactful SPE sections in the world, SPE-KSA. We'll explore how volunteerism shapes careers, empowers the next generation, and contributes to the broader vision of our kingdom. Whether you're just beginning your journey or have walked this path for years, I hope this evening leaves you inspired and proud to be part of this legacy. Before we dive into tonight's discussion, let me introduce the leaders who helped shape the SPE-KSA story, not just as professionals, but as volunteers who built a legacy of service, innovation, and community. Our first panelist is the director of SPEC Advanced Research Center at Aramco, where he leads upstream R&D across 4 global research centers. He served as the SPE-KSA chairman in 2011 and 2012, chairman of the 2011 SPE Saudi Arabia section of the annual Technical Symposium and Exhibition, and received the SPE Distinguished Service Award in 2022. Recently, he was named among the top 2% of scientists globally by a Stanford study. Please welcome to the stage Dr. Ghaythan Al-Muntashiri. Our next panelist is the Director of Upstream Development Strategy and Reserves at Aramco, where he oversees long-term growth and reserves planning. He served as the SPE-KSA chairman in 2012 and 2013, and recently elected as a 2025 SPE Regional Director for MENA. Throughout his SPE journey, he has supported major conferences, championed youth engagement, and helped elevate SPE-KSA's visibility across the region. Please welcome to the stage Mr. Abdelatif Al-Umair. Our third panelist is the head of completions operations for Aramco's unconventional resources, overseeing rigless activities and field performance. He has a long-standing track record within SPE, serving as the SPE-KSA chairman in 2013, 2014, and was part of the 2015 SPE Annual Technical Conference and Exhibition Executive Steering Committee. He received the Middle East Region Outstanding Young Member Award in 2011 and SPE International Young Member Outstanding Service Award in 2015. Please welcome to the stage Mr. Yusuf Al-Tahan. Our final panelist is the Director of Land Affairs at Aramco. Passionate about volunteerism, chaired the SPE-KSA section from 2019 to 2021, and served in multiple executive boards since 2010. During his tenure as executive board chairperson, he guided 11 teams through the pandemic while launching new knowledge exchange programs. In addition, he received the SPE Regional Award for Distinguished Service. Please welcome to the stage Mr. Abdulaziz Al-Sufayan. It's such a privilege to have you all with us here tonight, and I'm so honored to be sitting next to the 4 legends of SPE-KSA who've not only shaped the organization, but have also inspired many of us in this very room. And with so much confidence and with so much wisdom on stage today, I'm pretty sure we'll all walk away with valuable lessons and renewed inspiration. Let's begin at the heart of what draws many to volunteer: growth. To begin, I believe many of us here can relate to how our journey with volunteering started, often with very few initial steps, ended up shaping more than we expected. So what initially motivated you to volunteer with SPE, and how did those early steps influence your professional path? I guess we can start with you, Dr. Ghaythan.
Thank you very much.
I think it's working now.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. مساكم الله بالخير جميعا. Good evening to all of you ladies and gentlemen, the members of the SPE Saudi Arabia section. I would like to start first by acknowledging and thanking the SPE Saudi Arabia section for having me today to come and talk about my previous experience with SPE. I don't know why you started with me first. I hope that's not because I'm the oldest now, but I keep telling people that I'm only 35. The Saudi Arabia section has been a legend in itself, and we kept, every generation that comes will always ask itself the question, how can we add to the legacy journey? How can we add more? How can we contribute further to the success journey? So that was probably the question that came in my mind while driving here this evening. And I was asking myself, how did it all start? I was trying to remember, and I think it all started with the leadership. I would like to recognize them for inviting us to participate in SPE. I was asked to lead the annual technical symposium and exhibition in 2011. And I remember at that time, the first question that came to my mind, what is it? What are we going to do exactly? And I remember the year before that the event was so large, and I was thinking we used to do all of the organization, all of the organizing issue. We take care of the logistics. And I was truly inspired by the volunteerism spirit of the members. And just to name a few things, we asked ourselves the question, what is it that we can do that will make it a unique year? And we started thinking about elevation of the event to an international event. Just to make it short, I think it's the area, it's the members around you, it's the leadership of Aramco that helped us and guided us to this interesting role that took us where we are today, connecting with the best brilliant minds in the country. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much for this inspiring response, Mr. Ghaythan. I would like to move on to Mr. Yusuf. I'd like to hear an inspiring story as well, especially you've received 2 SPE recognitions as well.
It's ironic and funny. First, again, I want to thank you for inviting us today. The introduction really made me feel old. أنا والشيبان اللي جنبي كلكم. But my story with SPE is kind of ironic and a little bit different. I would take the blame for that. In the beginning, I was not a believer of SPE. When I started my career, and I have to admit, I thought I worked with drilling a workover. Most of my time was in the field, rigs, going around thinking that, I was doing the real work. And I always look at my colleagues who work in SPE are people who don't really have a real job, or just they're hiding away from delivering. And this all the way till I went to do my master's in Australia. So I finished my master's, came back. I was so hyped and excited, I wanted, looking for the next big thing. And I remember visiting, I'll blame Abdul Latif. I went to his office 6:30 p.m. in Expect Building. Abdul Latif was putting his headphones, he was in the zone, completely indulged. I don't know what he was doing, but apparently he was enjoying it. And it definitely not related to work. So Abdul Latif, I've called his name multiple times, and then he looked at me, what are you working at? And I remember that day very well. And he said, man, I'm so swamped, young professional technical symposium. I was like, what the hell, what are you saying? What, young what? And this was my first introduction to SPE. I would blame it on this guy. And since then, I could not take SPE out of my system. And I'm very appreciative. Thank you, Abdul Latif. لا تعودها. I was very appreciative of all what I got out of SPE. Honestly, it gave me an opportunity to experience what leadership is. I started at a very young age, just finished my master's studies, not yet in a leadership position. And SPE gave us that opportunity. It gave us the opportunity to experience what is leadership, how involved it is. It also provided a safe zone for us to do mistakes. It's minimum risk. Yeah. Okay, you're a leader, you did a mistake. It's volunteer, so what? Fix it and move on. Unlike the traditional leadership, where every decision counts. The third element that I'm very appreciative is the network that I got out of SPE. The connections, the relationships I built with my fellow SPE colleagues in Saudi Arabia, in GCC region, in MENA region, and even international, became even a friendship, long-term relationship. We're still in communication. It helped me in personal level, as well as in my career. If I have a problem, easily I just pick up the phone, somebody in UAE, and I ask them, what are you doing with that? And I just get the answer immediately. So I'm very appreciative of the opportunity. And what I gained over the many years with SPE since 2010, I'm reaping the benefit in my leadership right now. I encourage everyone who's volunteering with SPE to step up and take a leadership role. What you learn in SPE and how to lead volunteers is completely different than the traditional leadership. Traditional leadership, you have the carrot and stick. You have that authority. But when you're leading volunteers, it's very difficult, by the way. You need to gather everybody around a shared vision. They need to believe in you. They need to believe in your story. And you will be able to build that skill having a leadership as a volunteer in SPE.
True indeed. Thank you so much. And also the ability to lead for a purpose rather than a title is really rare, and I think it's very significant as well to do so. Thank you so much, Mr. Youssef. And within that also, attracting and retaining young talent is essential to any organization's future, and SPE-KSA has always placed youth at its core. At that time, during your chairmanship, Mr. Abdulatif, the recruitment process often started with those around you, your close peers, your colleagues. But right now, mashallah, we've seen the evolution very clear within SPE-KSA. So what strategies or initiatives proved most effective in engaging young volunteers during your term?
Apparently it worked on Yusuf, so leading by example, I guess. I didn't think I was recruiting, but I think at the time that we started SPE, and الله يذكره بالخير ومسي عليه بالخير بطلال أشرف الطحيني. He is the one that recruited me to be an MC actually for the annual technical symposium, and I got hooked. So it was, at the beginning, it was word of mouth from people around you. And this is the strategy I applied, yeah, when I was looking at the terms that I've led SPE. Most of the people that, you know, from the volunteers that worked with me were my friends, and the people were with me in the office. Busleiman here was one of them, and many other people around us. And that was the times down back then. It was, communication was a little bit more, you know, I'm not going to say difficult, but it's not as we see it right now. However, you know, as I, you know, live the period from when I was a president until we see now, you can see the value that benefited me and the hidden values that will benefit a lot of people. Some people, it will benefit a lot at their careers, the progression, be it, you know, Yusuf talked about, you know, leadership without authority and how does it build a character. I think it is something that even if people do not, you know, progress like in a certain track or like the managerial track or what have you, there are so many traits that people gain during these periods of volunteerism. It is absolutely, priceless. It will add a lot to the character of a person. So right now, when I see it's still a bunch of people trying to recruit their friends, but we see the value of people, even new people that join the industry will, join SPE. And I want to say one thing, maybe I don't want to take a lot of time. We as part of my role with SPE International right now, we see a major problem of students dropping away from SPE when they become professionals. And that is not true for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia section. We see a lot of people who were actually not part of SPE when they're in college, but they join SPE because they see the value that it adds to their technical development, to their personal development, to their leadership and project management. But so many facets of person development is fueled by SPE. And I think we have a very good thing going in terms of recruitment. It used to be a little bit more difficult. It used to be me and my friends and my colleagues. Now it's people actually trying to join. And I think maybe my message also to future SPE leaders is let's continue this strategy by giving everybody that volunteers with SPE the benefits they expect, which I no doubtedly I think they will do.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abdulatif. And also, SPE-KSA is one of the platforms where you can enhance a lot of your leadership skills. Mr. Abdulaziz, as someone who served during a particularly challenging time, right as the pandemic began, it must have been difficult to attract and retain volunteers. Yet, under your inspiring leadership, we saw innovative efforts, online workshops, online work courses, and also the energy for me has been basically transformed to be online as well. So what was your approach during that time, and how did you ensure that youth remain engaged?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a real privilege to get back to SPE-KSA after a couple of years, let's say. And I would like to thank SPE-KSA for allowing us to utilize this channel in order to connect with our beloved members. So, attracting people, you need to understand how we got into SPE-KSA, and most of the stories that my colleagues have mentioned here, I'm sure that you can relate to. I was pushed as well to be part of SPE-KSA. And to be honest with you, it was a pivotal moment for me that reshaped how I think, how I lead, and how I grow. Let me start from the end. What I want to leave with you in order to understand how to attract people, you need to understand that you need to do things. Don't be just a doer or a coordinator, okay? Bring your mind, not only your hands. Number two, network. Network is very important. Talking to other people, getting to know and getting to acquaintance with other people, this is very important as well. And finally, keep your integrity all the time. Now, having these three messages in your mind, I can talk about how we attracted young youth and volunteers into SPE-KSA. And let me start from 2010 when I was the publicity officer of SPE-KSA back then. After 3 months from the beginning of that term, I had 0 volunteers. It's all about give and take. And nobody want to volunteer in a team that works behind the scenes and slumped with all the tasks from the work, from other commitments outside the work, and SPE-KSA. I was very disappointed, rigid-minded, trying to get things the way I wanted, impatient. So I had to pick a fight with my chairman at that time. And he's sitting right at the beginning of this table, Dr. Ghaythan al-Muntashiri. And trust me, as you are young, okay, you want to get things done, you're impatient, and you cannot attract any people, especially in a team that does not attract volunteers. I remember at 4 o'clock, I called him and I was, listen, I'm done. I don't want to be anymore in this team, and I don't think I can give as much as I can, especially with a lot of work that I've been doing. So he told me to come to his office. And at that moment, he started talking to me, calming me down first, because I was shouting. I'll be frank with you guys. He calmed me down, and he taught me a lesson that I carried on with me all the way until now. It was a leadership lesson. He told me it's not about getting results. It's how you get into this journey of getting that results. 10 years later, in 2019, we had a team of 11 officers, all passionate. We want to drive results. We want to show our records, our results, and we start talking to different people, different companies. We want to get involved in everything. And guess what? 3 months or 4 months after we gathered and we were announced, the pandemic hit us. That was a slap on the face for all of the activities, all the planning, all the strategies that we built during 4 months of continuous work with 11 teams. Fortunately, I was blessed with a team that I think is unmatched in all other SPE-KSA, and excuse me for that, ladies and gentlemen. The team was diverse from different backgrounds, different, let's say, even different gender, and we worked together how we're gonna overcome these challenges. What we had at that point is we need to focus on communication skills or soft skills rather than technical skills. So what we did is coming up with programs that can be virtually, let's say, conducted, and starting making videos that were distributed across our social media channels. And with that, with networking with all of these volunteers and all of our members, alhamdulillah, we were the only section during the pandemic that had a result of 5% growth in the entire world. No section have shown an increase in their membership except SPE-KSA. And I'm very thankful, not only for the leadership of the SPE-KSA, but also for the team that worked with me in order to achieve that goal.
Thank you so much. I mean, 1% would be significant as well, not just as 5. So it shows the team's dedication and commitment during that term. Thank you so much. Volunteerism at SPE-KSA has evolved into a powerful force, driving national impact in education, in community, and also in industry. A prime example of that is the annual technical symposium and exhibition. Dr. Ghaythan, you helped shape the annual technical symposium exhibition into one of the region's most recognized technical events, considering 412 abstracts from 33 countries. Could you share this journey with us?
First of all, I must acknowledge that the meeting with Abu Saud, my dear friend, was a great meeting that we had at 4 p.m. So, and by the way, he keeps reminding me of it, but wallahi, sometimes I don't recall all the details. But I know that we were very happy afterwards. That's what matters. Yeah. What would make a lasting impact is definitely, you could always make an impact on anyone. You could make an impact at work, you could learn leadership skills, you could build on your communication skills, you could build your technical knowledge by working in SPE. But there is nothing like making an impact on somebody's life. I think you would agree with me, right? So one of the new things that we were thinking about was building on the mission of SPE, which is the technical knowledge dissemination. We asked ourselves at that time, it was 2011, and you could really find any knowledge out there that is in a readable format. Even the Google translators at that time, I don't think they were as effective as they are today. So I asked myself and the team, we said, okay, how about we build on the young professionals' energy and we see if we can attract more members to become petroleum engineers. So we asked ourselves, how can we do this? And the volunteers really impressed me with a brilliant idea where we brought students from high school that are Arabic-speaking individuals. They didn't know what engineering is. And we had to recruit speakers that can talk about mechanical engineering, petroleum engineering, chemical engineering in Arabic. So we called it Your Future Here. So that was one of the most brilliant ideas that the team came up with at that time, and it's one of the most impressive moments that we had in that event. Now back to the story of the technical program. Each time I talk about the annual technical symposium, I must mention the high school students because I am sure some of them are sitting here today. And if you made it to that event where you became a petroleum engineer today, there is nothing that should prevent you from becoming even the SPE president, inshallah, and even higher in your technical career. So when we started our term, I remember the previous board, they had a memorandum of understanding with SPE, and that was Dr. Ashraf al-Tahini as well. He was the SPE chairman, the SPE Saudi Arabia section chairman at that time. And we asked ourselves, what can we do to capitalize on this? What do we want out of the annual technical symposium? So we said, we want to have our event listed on the SPE meetings calendar. That was quite a challenge because that was the first time we bring this idea. And I must say that there was some, let's say, questions on why we want to do this. Why are we growing the event into an international event, an international level? What would happen to the registration fees? Does it mean that we have to do the same standards of SPE in terms of registration? And the answer was, we had to go through some questions, let me put it this way. And we were successful having it listed on the SPE Saudi Arabia section, and the SPE International Meetings calendar, May 2011. I still remember that day. We were so much excited and happy to see Al Khobar, Saudi Arabia, as part of the meetings calendar in SPE International. Now here is the catch. They say with every challenge, there is an interesting story. We made a publicity campaign with a huge impact. We went very, I would say, wild, up to the level that we sent an invitation to every single professor in petroleum engineering across the planet. We had a very solid team that worked extremely hard on the advertisement of the event. And I remember we did not even have an online system that can help you review the abstract, so we had to do it manually. And even the submission engine is simply an email that you receive with the abstract and the contact information of the author. That's it. And when we launched the SPE, when we announced for the event at the SPE meetings calendar, the number of abstracts in the beginning were reasonable, but then towards the end, we received a huge influx, and up to the level that the chairman at that time, Abdulaziz Rajaji, he said, we need to shut down the system before we get too many abstracts that we cannot handle. And I am very grateful to the technical committee members at that time that worked very hard on the reviews, because we used to go back and forth to make sure that every abstract that we received gets reviewed properly by the right number of authors, and we used to have an Excel sheet that does it for us. And then we would communicate to the authors with the responses. I would like to, I don't want to take a lot of time, but now you're bringing me a lot of memories. But there was something that we made. We sent first the rejection notifications. And that was not a smart thing to do, because when you send it, then you send the acceptance, many of the acceptance, the authors that got accepted, sometimes some of them would withdraw the papers for a reason or another. And then you end up with looking at the rejections and you say, okay, now how can we change our mind? That's not going to work. So you need to go back to the backup. To make it short, I think it was one of the most wonderful experiences in my whole career. And it helped me learn a lot about leading people with a purpose rather than authority. You can exercise authority as at work. You can tell people whatever you want as a boss. But believe me, if they don't believe in what you are saying, I don't think they will fulfill the job to the level that you want. If you want people to make an impact, if you want to have an everlasting impact, you have to influence people in the way they feel, the way they work. And to me, SPE has taught me this. There was no reason for anyone to be in their office, like you mentioned. Abu Abdulaziz was there at 6:08, and he was very happy. And he was in the ring probably, and he said, why would people just volunteer? Because we were engineers and we thought that we would get paid by working extra hard. But the SPE was never something that would come to our minds at that time, especially with the digital era today. And there was not much at that time, compared to what we see today. The connectivity, the linkage with other sections and all of that. I remember that we used to convert wedding halls into an exhibition hall in less than 48 hours. And that's commendable effort by the teams that have worked. And I think without them, when I think al-Ikhwan here, all of them agree, I don't think we will be sitting here to celebrate any of these achievements. فالله يعطيهم العافية. They reflected a great image about SPE Saudi Arabia section and more importantly about the country.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ghaythan. And I believe as well, it's kind of like conclusion to a word, I would say, adversity as well. Sometimes when you push yourself outside of the comfort zone, it teaches you along the way. Thank you so much, Dr. Ghaythan. Mr. Yusuf Al-Tahan, throughout programs like Qudwa and your work on energy for me in terms of translating it from English to Arabic, and also the YP Infinity establishment, you've helped bring energy education and inclusion to the forefront. How do you see such initiatives contributing to national development? And is there a moment from your journey that still inspires you today?
Well, definitely yes. The answer is yes. We talk about, if we consider what the kingdom is going through, Vision 2030, what you're doing now in SPE and the volunteering, you're really serving the bigger purpose, and I would call it the grand plan. Let me put things in perspective. A lot of the participants today are from the young generation, but to put things in perspective and following what Ghaythan and the gentleman here were saying, back in the old days, everything was a challenge for us. Recruiting people was a challenge. Financing was a challenge. We used to suffer to get sponsorship. Suffer. To hold a gathering like this was almost impossible. You have to go through battles, fights, convincing. You go to service companies, they would, with a smile, shut the door and kick you out. We have no sponsorship.
You had to pay for the events. The dinner meetings, you had to pay for them.
Back in the old days, ترى كان فيه دخولية. There were fees. You pay ما أدري كم عشان تدخل الدينر meeting. So it's very pleasant now seeing SPE where it is right now. And it again, it's all because of the hard work that we've seen from all the volunteers. I remember كان عبد اللطيف again يا عبد اللطيف ترى ازعجتنا انت. كان عبد اللطيف هو التشيرمان، كنت انا لا كان عفوا اشرف طحيني، كنت انا الواي بي فايس تشيرمان. And I was presenting plans وpresenting كانت الواي بي تي اس the young professional technical symposium وكان اشرف الطحيني هو المهم قلت له احنا we want to expand, we want to go a little bit outside of our fence, we want to recruit. قال you want ايش؟ to recruit. قلت له we need. قال كم التيم عندك؟ قلت له احنا الحين 7. قال تبي زياده؟ قلت له ايه the plans are big. قال no, you need to work more with less. So the motto back then as volunteer You don't want to expand too much. But I'm very happy seeing SPE now going way beyond really the kingdom and beyond our boundary. Going back to Ghaida's question and how what you're doing is really serving on a national development. I'm going to link it to Vision 2030 because last year I was attending one of the programs by MISC Foundation, 2030 Leaders. And big part of this program is the introduction of what is the Vision 2030 and what are the main pillars and how we can contribute at every sector. Volunteerism was a big part of it. It served multiple pillars of the vision, especially the human capital development, the diversification of the economy as well. And if I reflect back on what SPE is doing, you're exactly serving that pillar. From a human capital development, all the conferences you're conducting, technical exchange and knowledge exchange, the conferences, everything. This is all is going to funnel at the end to what the kingdom want to achieve. I'll give you another example. I've seen lately for the last maybe 2 terms, focus on sustainability, enhancing the capability of our professionals in the industry in terms of the energy transition, the awareness of energy transition, how we reduce our carbon footprint and so forth. Now, coupling this with Vision 2030, this is what it's all about. The Saudi Green Initiative, the Middle East Green Initiative, all what you're doing, again, is going to funnel to the grand plan. I remember one of the participants in MISC, he was with the Ministry of Human Resource, and it was September 2024. He came, he was so happy. And he said the volunteerism target in Vision 2030 is to reach 1 million volunteers by 2030. And we said, yeah, why you're happy? He said, today we broke the 1,000,001. So they accomplished the target 6 years before the plan. And it's you as SPE, you're of course considered, but you a big part of where the kingdom want to achieve. And keep it up. I'm very happy with the programs. Every announcement come from SPE, I have to immediately open it. لي علاقة ما لي علاقة, it's out of curiosity because you all have made the program so engaging at all levels that we want to see what's coming next. I have hunger and thirst of what SPE is going to offer. Just look into what you're doing right now, that you're not only serving SPE Saudi section. You're not anymore. You've been doing it since 1959. Now you're doing it at a bigger scale. You're actually serving the grand plan of Vision 2030.
True. Thank you so much, Mr. Yusuf. Indeed, we are not only volunteering, but we're serving the community and the kingdom and also beyond. Thank you so much. Mr. Abdulaziz, you have led Tumuh program for youth to organizing a beach cleanup, brought together 55 divers. Your efforts reflect how volunteerism drives both social and national value. I would like you to tap into this. What inspired these initiatives? And if you could bring a background story on the beach initiative.
Absolutely, thank you, Ghaida. Well, that was before the pandemic, thankfully, alhamdulillah. And so, during a visit to the beach, I've noticed that there were a lot of bottles, there were a lot of, let's say, plastic bags thrown around here and there, some glasses in here. And as we were walking, a guy came from the beach, and he was hurt. I think a glass, a broken glass, has injured him and he was bleeding. So that sparked an idea, and we initiated an initiative from our side, from SPE-KSA. But thinking about it and getting back to network, our impact would be very limited if we go alone as SPE-KSA. So we started talking to other entities within the province, and one of the main entities that really supported us was the Eastern Province Municipality, or أمانة المنطقة الشرقية. We discussed the idea with them, they loved it, and they started supporting us in all logistical approaches that you can think of. We went, and I thought that only 10 people, 15 people would show up, especially it was on Friday morning. Nobody's awake, everyone was up late at night on Thursday, so we were expecting like few people to show up. Guess what? 55 people, 55 divers showed up, and more than 55 people were on location even before I was able to reach that location. It was in Half Moon Beach. We went with divers, cleaned the undersea, and cleaned the beach. It was a small area. If you think about it, it's a very small impact comparing to the entire Half Moon Beach, but the after event impact was huge. This was highly appraised by all government leaders within the region, all the way to the Emir of the Emirates. And if it wasn't for the pandemic, we would have expanded that to other areas as well within the Eastern Province. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to think about the impact of your actions. Not only show up and putting these kind of initiatives in the newspaper and being praised by everyone, but what is the real impact of what you're doing? And this is a message that we need all to keep in mind while doing our things. Not only going back to my first, let's say, message, don't be a doer. Bring your mind to it.
I think we all test? Okay, perfect, it's working. I think we all agree on this, I guess. Volunteerism is beyond, and to have influential, basically, impact with those people around you is really, really significant. Mr. Abdulatif Al-Amer, you witnessed SPE-KSA's evolution into a platform that hosted global events like IPTC, a shift that reflects the kingdom's growing leadership and energy. How did volunteerism contribute to that transformation? And is there a story from your time as a chair that continues to motivate you today?
Well, there are plenty of stories. I have a couple of stories, and maybe I'll just pick up on what Abu Ahmed just said. I think, from the beginnings up to the recent IPTCs, it was always a journey of excellence where we wanted to improve every time. I remember a very funny story. We're on a board meeting with SPE-KSA board that used to be called SPE-KSA at the time, Saudi Arabia section. And Allah yadhkar Abu Khair, Abu Nasser Faisal Ghamish was the head of the annual symposium. And he had grand examples. And I remember the chairman of the board at the time, it was our current CEO, Mr. Nasser. And I said, what is your expectation of this conference? He said, to be better than OTC. And in 2024, 2022, and in 2020, IPTC in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia was much better than every other conference that we witnessed in Houston. And that was not, a spark of luck. It was a vision from the beginning that we wanted to improve. We didn't know that if we wanted to reach that, but it was always there, and every section, every volunteer comes after the one before him or her, wants to do a little bit better. So ATSE was done in the basement of XPEC. before 2008 or 9. Then it became in the Meridian, very small. Then we went to Sif. Then I remember we wanted to go bigger. We wanted to go to Dhahran Expo. And we went to the board meeting. And Allah yadhkar al-khair, Mr. Brake was the chairman at the time. And he said, this facility is not there. And he was right, because it wasn't there yet, because with time it improved and it became a world-class venue. But he always pushed us to, he said, go meet with Dhahran Expo management. Let them improve their facilities. Let them improve, their amenities in order for us to have potentially a meeting there. And eventually we did. We had it there as ATSE, and then it improved. It became merged with IPTC and it became that thing. So, and as Yusuf said, these conferences are part of our national agenda for our Vision 2030. There is so many things that, I was just thinking, and maybe Yusuf sparked a lot of fond memories with that 6:30 meeting. It's not only conferences, it's many other things. I have a funny story. I don't know if I dragged you into it or not. In 2011, I hurt my leg, and I was off duty, staying at home. Then I get a phone call. I think it was from Aziz Al-Ajaji, Mufahad al-Khair, and he said, we have this task we want you to lead. I was like, I'm in a Jabira, I can't move. He said, okay, we will come have coffee at your apartment at the time. And he and Salli Al-Ataybi, I don't know, were you with us? And I think you were with us. And Ashraf Tahini. And we always thought young professional was a great idea, and we wanted to apply something like it in Aramco. So we did from my apartment, maybe multiple meetings, and we came up with this white paper. And I'll take credit for it. I don't know if it was us or not. Eventually, I think this white paper became YLAB within Aramco. It was the beginning, and because Dr. Saggaf asked us to do it, and eventually he's the one that rolled out YLAB. Definitely, it wasn't the stuff that we shared with them. There was a lot of good work that happened at the time. Over 4 days, yeah. And you think about it from a national agenda, I want to link it to what Yusuf said. You look at MISC, there is MISC, young MISC leaders, right? A lot of these programs, I don't think they pretty much started from here, but a lot of these elements grew. It grew to Aramco as YLAB, and then you see it being applied in other places. So there is a lot of work that you don't see in front of you right now, but every time the volunteers want to do better, the product will be better. And there are a lot of programs right now that I'm watching from afar, maybe like Dharra, like Ignite. I think these will eventually become national platforms, be it themselves grow or inspire others to do something like this. So the technical programs and the growth of the ATSE into this outstanding symposium, hosting all of these events within the kingdom is another. But I think there are so many things that are hidden. Maybe we need a historian, Vitala, to bring these things together. I think they will spark a lot of things from the Vision 2030. So I think there are a lot of stories to be told, but definitely the impact when it comes to technical dissemination, first-class exhibition, and other initiatives will continue its legacy within the kingdom, inshallah.
Inshallah, bi'idhnillah. Thank you so much, Mr. Abdul Latif. And I guess the majority here is hearing the first time of the establishment of YLAB. Yes, thank you so much. Today's volunteers are tomorrow's leaders who continue to build its proud legacy. So what final message you would like to convey to our future volunteers? We can start with you, Dr. Ghaitan.
Wallahi, this is a very interesting question. When you volunteer, you're trying to juggle different balls, right? You're trying to juggle your job, you're trying to juggle the ball of your family, your friends, and your volunteering activity. And remember what we said, it's leading without authority, right? And all of the gentlemen on the podium had also mentioned about the art of leadership by influencing others. So I would like to emphasize on certain things. First, I think SPE teaches you time management. It teaches you what is important and what is less important at a certain point in time. It helps you improve your communication skills. And on the networking side, I cannot emphasize more on adding more friends to your network, learning from them. These professionals will become, some of them will become lifetime friends, and we have seen it in SPE. And the last thing that I would like to leave you with is the fact that SPE community helps you build more technical knowledge. And there will be, that's one of the critical cornerstones in somebody's career is the technical knowledge and the solid foundation they built. That foundation can be strengthened, can be built, and can be coordinated with other disciplines by participating, by volunteering in SPE. And this is a message for all of the young members that we see today. Back then, in the early days, you have seen 1959, so SPE has, the Saudi section has been there a long time ago. And even myself, I call it SPE-KSA, although it's now SPE-KSA. So the question is, how did this, all of this, how was it built all throughout the years as an SPE knowledge for the section? I think the activities that have been added every year and more access to technical, electronic resources today, more linkage with other societies, with other disciplines. It's much easier. It made people become experts, become knowledgeable about certain fields much faster than before. Definitely much faster than 1959. So we're blessed with this. And what makes it interesting today is the fact that it's part of a larger grand plan as described by Yusuf. So everything we do today is supporting that technical growth, that technical knowledge, all of the skills that you're going to develop in SPE, all of the activities that you are volunteering to do will add to the Kingdom's Vision 2030, of which we are all part.
Indeed, thank you so much, Dr. Ghaythan. And to you, Mr. Abdul Latif, is there a final message you would like to convey?
Well, I think I'll echo what Ahmed said. I think technical part of SPE is very critical. Yeah, and we need to also, we do volunteerism as many things, but it's also good to volunteer with SPE International, some of the standing committees, some of the technical committees, writing papers, I think will add a lot of value. I think, continuing the volunteerism path, sometimes people get a little bit overwhelmed. That's okay. People can take a little bit time off, then they can come back. I think there is no shame in that. It's not a one-way highway where you volunteer for a little bit and then you burn out and then you never come back. I think it's always healthy to, take a break and come back. People feel like it, because I think people, when they go away, we don't see them again. But I think we have a very healthy pipeline. I think management support, I want to echo, not only from Aramco, which is, second to none, but also from the service companies. And we see it in the participation, has been a very valuable enabler of SPE. And I think the volunteers will appreciate that because it will fuel them to, have a return of that investment to the companies. And I think, I see it in front of me every time I come to an event, and I think we have a vibrant society that is led by outstanding people, that's represented by, radiating energy of volunteers, and I think this will continue, and I'm just glad to be part of this process. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Abdul Latif. How about you, Mr. Yusuf?
Well, two things. First, step up. It's an opportunity. Step up and take leadership role. As much as you can, expand your horizons. Now for this one, I'm gonna blame Abdul Latif. I'm gonna blame. Abdul Latif called me during his term, متى كانت 2012, 2013. So I was not planning to serve in that term. I wanted to take a break. He called me قال لي يوسف أبي فزعتك. تبت تم عاد أنا قلت تم I got myself in trouble. قال لي I want you to lead the publication الساندروز. شنو إيش؟ الساندروز. شنو ساندروز؟ publication that you all know. قلت لهم يعني أنا I'm not لا أحب أقرأ ولا I'm not even يعني I don't know how to write. تبيني publication. قال no fill in the position و يعني literally أنا I would enjoy go jogging for few hours ولا أقعد أقرأ كتاب. But it turned out to be this is one of the best positions personally I handled. It forced me to start reading. It forced me to learn writing. And it really improved my skills. So don't shy away from taking leadership roles in areas that you feel you're weak. You need to develop, you need to improve, whatever it is. Assess yourself, and SPE is an opportunity for you to show your skills, to learn, and be visible as well. Now the second part, I'm going to talk about SPE as an employer, as somebody who actually hire people. If I see somebody in his resume who serves in SPE or any other volunteer professional societies, the first perception I get is that this individual is committed, this individual willing to go the extra mile, and also good time management. So even in your resumes, this is going to boost a lot your career. So take that as an opportunity and continue. I see great support from all energy companies here in Saudi Arabia. Leverage that, leverage it. During our time, it was the challenge. Now, take it as an opportunity. And good luck all.
Okay, I think you've heard and relate to three great leaders, not only in SPE-KSA, but in our industry as well. I'll leave you with two messages. First of all, think about volunteerism as a long-term investment. You might not see the results today, but you will definitely see it in the future and in the near future. The second message is a phrase from a hadith of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where he said, the best of people, those who most benefit the rest of mankind. Keep that message in mind, and inshallah you will see the results as soon as possible. Thank you so much.
Inshallah, bi'idhnillah. Thank you so much. I guess the mic is يعني very kind of Thank you so much. I guess we have a few more minutes from questions from the audience. So please, if you have a question, raise your hand, introduce yourself, and ask the question. Any questions?
You mentioned changes that SPE-KSA has gone through throughout the years. What's something that you hope to see from the next generation of volunteers that will carry on from your trip?
Would like anyone to answer this insightful question?
I think the grand plan, the Vision 2030, is the next big thing, صح? Abu Abdul Aziz and Abu Tala, they were bragging about the Y Lab, which is well deserved, right? We would love to see SPE-KSA section, inshallah, building a program that will be taken to a national level as part of Vision 2030. If you ask me.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think building on something to be adopted by bigger entities. I think this would be, of course, to be adopted by the Vision 2030 will be the most, the most grand of them all, but I think usually things take time. So build something that you see in front of you, become something bigger than what you're doing with SPE.
I think we can have one more question. I guess like we have 2 minutes. This is your chance, your opportunity.
Nobody wants to blame.
I guess. Okay, no worries. Oh, there's a question over there. Can we have the mic, please? Oh, there's one. Okay, perfect. And we can also get your question later, no worries.
I don't have a question. I just want to thank Mr. Yusuf Al-Tahan. My name is Rana Ghamdi. I work in environment protection, scientist. I was always invited to the young professional years ago when we started, when I was a professional in Samsung. I remember it started like in a small lecture room in the North Park. We used to do a lot of lectures and presentations and events. But seeing this grow and going off and beyond is so overwhelming, and really I'm so proud of all this and everyone. I just encourage the new generation girls and the female take advantage, and they're going to benefit more and increase their knowledge and perspective. And so proud of you. Thank you all for the effort.
Thank you so much.
Wallahi, I cannot be even myself proud of your comments, صراحة. It means a lot to us in this panel, and also all the former chairman. Coming from you, this means a lot. And I must say, during our time, SPE built strong reputation, where it even expanded. Previously, people were reluctant to join us because the name was deceiving, Society of Petroleum Engineers. And others from other professions or other disciplines, they shy away from joining. And I remember we had to do major awareness campaigns. We had to go and visit. And thanks to you, you were very helpful. We ended up having 22 doctors from SAMSO, which is Jaha now, joining SPE at the time. But really, thank you very much for joining today, and it's always nice seeing you as well. Shukran. Shukran.
We can have one more question over there.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Fatah SPE-KSA, Saudi Arabia. I'm just curious to know what motivated the change of name from SPE-SAS to SPE-KSA. Is it kind of rebranding strategy?
I'll blame Fahad al-Tayri. To be honest, I don't know, but I think it's just to align with the name of the kingdom. I think, and historically with the SPE Saudi Arabia section, it was a difficult endeavor to change a section name. You had to go through board approval and things like this. But I think a very good case was put together. And we see it in other places as well. I think the SPE Bahrain became the SPE Kingdom of Bahrain because the change happened after the name of the section. So it just was to align the name of the country. It's the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, not Saudi Arabia. That's why, Fahad, I think, led the efforts to make that name change. Yeah.
Thank you so much. What an inspiring journey tonight. I honestly don't want this tonight to end, but unfortunately we do. Thank you to our panelists for your leadership, for your time of being here, and thank you so much for the audience.